everyone. So today I'm with a very important person in this whole sustainable mission of ours. This is Mr. Ganesh Kasekar of GOTS, that is the Global Organic Textile Standards. That is worldwide. It's an organic protocol for cotton and garments made out of cotton. And we're going to ask him as to what GOTS is and get to know a little more about organic protocol when it comes to the garments. We all know about the food and we all know about the importance of organic food and how it affects our sustainable lifestyle. But clothing is a very important part of our daily existence. So I'm handing it over to Mr. Ganesh and we're going to ask him why GOTS? What is this GOTS all about?
Well, why GOTS? The Global Organic Textile Standard, we call it GOTS, is the world's largest preferred voluntarily standard which is being followed by all the textile manufacturers in the globe. As of the 2020 data, we are having almost 10,400 certified entities which are manufacturing fashion garments which are adhering to the GOTS stringent protocols. The GOTS standard is important because as a consumer you get a sustainable product which is safe for the environment, safe for the human being to wear, and while manufacturing such a product we ensure that the production facilities follows the standards set by the GOTS which are based on the social, environmental and the ethical parameters. So by getting a GOTS approved product you are not only ensuring for yourself but you are also ensuring the safety and helpfulness for the entire community as such.
Great. We'll expand a little more on that. You're talking about so this has got something to do with the 17 UN SDGs we have, right? So
yes, honestly, GOTS standard ensures that you meet the 17 United Nations SDGs, and it is one of the tools which will make you to reach to those SDGs.
Okay, so what are these SDGs? SDGs, what does that stand for people who?
Well, it's the full form of SDGs is the Sustainable Development Goals. It includes various parameters about all the social aspects like the hunger, the poverty, the upbringing of the people from a level from this level to this level up over there, and there are various other social criteria which are covered,
and also environmental and climate resilience.
Exactly. Yes.
Great. So we've just noticed that as we were talking, there's been a 34% rise in GOTS certified facilities, and while the world and the trade was suffering because of the pandemic and the lockdown, but a 34% rise in GOTS facilities, GOTS certified facilities. Can you explain the phenomenon as to how and why is this happening?
Yes, and we had a growth of 34%. As I told you earlier that we as of now have 10,400 facilities covered under GOTS, and which were earlier 7,400 over there. But why this rise? You know, like if you ask me that why this rise, so it is because the world or the people, the consumer in the industry has agreed that okay, yes, they need a sustainable product, and once the consumers when they demand for the sustainable product as far as the fashion industry or the textile industry is concerned, there is the biggest option in front of them is GOTS. I again repeat, it is because it is the only standard which covers all the three aspects of social, environmental and ethical practices.
Correct. So okay, so we're talking about the global scenario. Now let's come to India. So how much of that awareness, this global awareness of this rise of that 34%, how much of that awareness is actually being seen in the Indian consumer scenario or the Indian market? Worked out?
Before answering this question, let me give you a small background about the organic market and globally how the numbers and figures stand as far as India is concerned. India happens to be the world's largest supplier of organic cotton in the world. If you talk of the numbers and in percentage, India holds a world supply of 51 to 55% of organic cotton in the global market.
That's more than Pakistan and Bangladesh.
It's more. The second distant figure is China, which is having 17 to 18% of the world organic supply chain.
The gap is
too huge. Second, considering India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka as the manufacturing hubs or the sourcing hubs, these four countries makes into the top 10 countries of the companies which are manufacturing the product as per the GOTS standard. and within that also India tops the list over there also. So the onus or the role what India plays in the organic market as far as textiles is concerned is significant.
Amazing.
Now, the other side of the story, unfortunately, the consumers in India are not that much aware of the sustainability norms or something like that. But in spite of that, I can say there has been seen a good awareness among the consumers in the industry. A few years back, few of the retail industry, topmost retail brands in India have agreed that they will move ahead with a sustainable way of supply chain involved in their manufacturing processes. So that's a good sign. And if you see nowadays also, if you go into any of the malls or the places to shop, you can see the holdings or the flex banners which the particular retailer or the brand endorses over there and gives publishes their way ahead in some sort of the other in the sustainability platform.
So you mean to say that these brands are adopting the GOTS protocol and the GOTS certification would be on their brand, saying that yeah, this is like a GOTS product.
Yeah, because they have to somewhere or the other they have to follow these norms because as I said, the consumer awareness is going up high and high. People want the right value for their money or whatever they are investing to purchase a product. So that's the reason why the importance of sustainability standards like GOTS is going to play a very important role in coming days.
Superb. So that's extremely positive to hear as we are going into the next year and we're coming out of the pandemic. Hopefully, no more lockdowns. What I want to do also, we earlier in our discussion, you're talking about the demand-supply gap. What is the scenario? I mean, there is a lot of demand. You're saying there's a huge amount of demand, but the supply is not able to match the GOTS.
Yes. So again, let's go to the international arena where we have lots of international brands and retailers who have their sustainability program for the right sourcing of the textile goods or the garments from the industry. And over there, in the past 2 years or so, we have found that there is a tremendous rise in the request for the organic garments or GOTS approved product in the international market. And as I said, India, China, and there are few countries which are the manufacturing, the raw material supplier countries for these. But the demand is so high that the supply chain or the raw material sourcing areas need to have more and more coverage. So that's the reason why very recently we have also started to encourage. I mean, it was already under the GOTS program, but we have started encouraging more and more on organic in conversion cotton because it is covered into the GOTS standard. By this, we also ensure that more and more land of agriculture is coming under the organic scope. Okay, and simultaneously, the farmers are getting benefit because of considering this in conversion cotton under the GOTS certification program. So these are a few steps that we are taking as a standard organization from GOTS to promote and encourage more and more organic. But we do believe that the final brands and the retailers who are actually working on the international or even in the domestic arena have to come up with more and more practices to be followed as per the sustainability is raised.
So there's a lot of work which needs to be done. And I'll just rephrase for our consumers. So what happens in organic certification is that the farmer has to first, you don't get organic certification as quickly. Your land and your seed and everything, there's a protocol. It takes about 3 to 5 years to prepare the land for just to get that proper NPOP or whatever certification protocol you've applied for. In India it's NPOP. So a lot of farmers are in the process of achieving it, and they sometimes get discouraged if the returns are not good enough. So I think the farmers who are in the conversion process, they need to be supported a lot more. And I feel what GOTS is doing is they are handholding them and supporting them a lot.
And then again I repeat the fact that the responsibility of the brands and the retailers who are actually sourcing and going ahead with the sustainability way is more, because it's a time where they need to rethink about their supply chain. They need to go and have a look back at what their supply chain is actually doing. And if they come out with a real good practices to ensure that the entire supply chain from the farm till the final product is being manufactured, then the benefit will go to the farmer, the benefit will go to all the workers who are working or engaged in manufacturing these sustainable products, and then the benefit will go to the final consumers who is actually going to use this product for his own use.
Awesome. one of the last closing question I wanted to, very curious, like garments from the fiber to the clothes we wear, that also has a lot of other chemical inputs like dyes, etc., and bleaching and all that. So, so GOTS, I'm sure, has a protocol for that also. And how do you handle stuff which is like, you know, chemicals and dyes?
Exactly. Textile, it's a fashion, and fashion can't go with only single color of white. People are fascinated about the colors and the appearance of the, because that is the only first property any purchaser who will go to purchase a garment, he will look at the color and feel of it also, particular product. And let's agree to a fact that textile industry is one of the largest pollutant in the global market.
Yes.
But by ensuring that the products are being manufactured as per the GOTS strict protocol, only those dyes and chemicals, may it be natural or even it be synthetic, only those dyes and chemicals which are following or passing through the strict norms laid by the GOTS standard, only those chemicals are allowed to use in the processing of GOTS approved textiles. So there is a separate process for approving this. The manufacturer has to give their toxicity data, their biodegradability value, their residue values and everything, and after having a study of all these parameters, the lab reports need to be issued from a proper NABL approved or a good laboratory practice laboratory. So after evaluating all these documentation part, the certifying body will issue an approval letter whereby the particular product will be having a letter of approval as per the GOTS standard.
Super, excellent. So, any final parting words to our consumers now that you know what it is all about? You know how a garment is so important when you want to get logged on to the, you want to change your lifestyle to a sustainable lifestyle. So, I would like Mr. Ganesh to say a few words to our viewers as to how they can help contributing to this and how they can adopt GOTS. What to look for?
Yes. As far as the GOTS standard is concerned, we are having our vision very clear. We look forward that each and every garment or being used by the human life in this world need to be organic by nature. Secondly, why? Because GOTS is an only tool which helps you to assess the risk assessment while at the manufacturing places. It helps you to have innovations and in the manufacturing process it improves. It helps to improve the industry's productivity as such. And last but not the least, again I repeat, the three pillars of the standard, the social, environmental and the ethical. I feel and I'm sure that if we follow these, if we stand by these pillars very strongly, then human life as such for you and us will not be only fashionable, will not be only trendy, but it will be also a very essential and very good for the coming future generations to come in our world.
Yeah, and we can breathe a little more fresh air and have a better planet for, you know, a longer time for things to come. Thank you so much, Mr. Ganesh. It's been a very, very enlightening chat, and we hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation and you're a lot more informed now about GOTS and the sustainability goals.
Thank you very much.